Welcome to this Friday's Live. I am delighted that you're joining me today. This is such a cute project. It is going to be featuring a new holiday bundle called Gingerbread Man. And this one I decided just to make into a little cute little gingerbread girl gift card holder. So as you hop on, say hello, let me know who is joining me. If you are passing by and you see this video, my name is Debra Harrison with Simply Sweet and Ink Designs. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas. And each Friday at 3 o'clock Central Time, I love sharing with you showing you different ways to use the amazing Stampin' Up! Products. All right, let me go on ahead and let me get my comments showing. All right, hello, Kelly, welcome. All right, so before we get into today's project, I did want to remind you, if you are part of my email list, you already know this, or hopefully you know this, and you got the email on Wednesday, you got early access to the Homemade Treats Christmas series. And it is, I want to explain that a little bit, what it is. For those who are not familiar with it, I know several of you have joined in the past couple of years and have really enjoyed this Christmas series. It is a 10-week email series that if you are part of my email list or you're part of Melissa Faust's email list or Heidi Collins' email list, we are combining together and we co-design 12 different projects. Each of us design 4 projects. So there's a total of 12 projects, but we spread out those email project sheets over the course of 10 weeks. We're going to start off week 1 on October 11th with 3 projects, one from each of us. What do you need to do to get that free project sheet? You only need to do one thing, and that is be part of one of our email lists. So if you're part of my email list already, you're good to go. You're going to get those project sheets. They're going to come to your inbox at 9 o'clock Central Time in the morning each Saturday from October 11th through December 13th. So hopefully that answers that question. How do I get the free project sheets? To get the pre-cut kit with consumable supplies to make the projects that we're going to be emailing each week, you would need to sign up for the Homemade Treats Christmas Series kit. And that is the registration is open for that right now. It costs $115. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It is so cute. We are sprinkling in some extra pillow gifts this year, as well as a little bit extra product. And so I think you're going to enjoy this. And just to kind of give you an idea, I'm going to turn my camera down to show you. So there is some information about it, and there's me, Melissa, and Heidi, if you haven't seen their faces before. And they are such talented Stampin' Up! Demonstrators and such sweet friends. I love co-designing with them because I learn a lot from them, and it's really, they're so talented. So each week, like I said, if you purchase the pre-cut kit for the Homemade Treats kit, you will receive 12 different packets. There'll probably be a few more because of the pillow gifts. But to give you an idea of what those packets look like, you're going to have your pre-cut cardstock pieces inside these really cute little, I don't know, they're not envelopes, they're little bags. And then it will be closed up and it will be sealed with a label that has the week number and the project week, the week date, and that you need to open, and the project number. So that way you can go find it in your email, open up your packet, and you can put that project together for the week. So you'll have 12 of these packets in your kit, along with, I think it's $43 in consumable Stampin' Up! Products, several pillow gifts. You're going to love it. I promise. Every single year we sell out. So make sure, I think I have maybe 21 spots left, and registration does run through September 30th. 2025, or until all my kit spots sell out. All right. And then that packet will ship by October 6th. And the first email will go out on October 11th. All right. So it is open to anybody with a U.S. mailing address. All right. Oh, +2, if you would like to, when you're registering for that Homemade Treats kit, we're offering an optional Christmas card class. Now, this is an easy Christmas cards in a flash class. It is, you'll have the PDF tutorial that you will be able to access to make these cards. There are 10 cards that you'll make. And I just want to share with you what the cards look like, because these were actually designed by Heidi Collins, and she is letting us borrow her beautiful, sweet design. So I wanted to share them with you. And so you can add on this class. It is a $40 to add it on to your registration. And you will make these 10 cards. Very, very just really sweet, simple Christmas cards to get them done fast, right? I know when it comes down to crunch time, I don't have a lot of time to be able to make very complex Christmas cards. So these are nice, they're pretty, they're beautiful, and you will, in that kit, you will get a packet of the embossed designs, mix and match cards and envelopes. It's got embossed layers. I don't know if you noticed it. This, you have a set of stripes, and then you have a set of polka dots, and then you have coordinating envelopes to go with them and stuff. I don't know if you can catch the little stripes there on the envelope, but it is there. So you'll get a full packet of the envelopes to make the 10 cards. You'll receive a half a packet of the Christmas tags and more designer series paper. So you'll have leftovers to make even more. And then you will receive a full packet of the Dear Dots embellishments. Now, obviously, I've been using this to make the samples, but you'll receive a full pack of that. So that, if you want to add it on to your hand or homemade treats kit, you can do that. Now, the homemade treats kit, let me back up a second. It does feature 2 bundles, and you will need to have both of these bundles to make the projects as part of that 12 weeks of projects. So you need the Gingerbread Man Bundle, which it has this huge gingerbread man die, and then all the little cute elements to be able to decorate him up with, as well as the homemade treats bundle to be able to complete the projects. You can, when you go to the link, it will show a detail for you all of the supplies that you'll need, all the inks. I think you'll probably have most of them, or you can substitute with ones that you have that are similar. And it will, you can also add any of the needed supplies at registration. All right, now for October Sweet Creations Club, it's going to be featuring the Tractor and Company bundle to make 4 cards. This is actually a little bit of a fun fold card. You can stand it up, then you can lift the flap up, and on the front it says, hey, hey, and then on the inside, it's your birthday. And you've got 3 other really cute little fall cards. And you have a holiday card as well. And then you're going to make a cute little treat box to go as part of that project kit, that packet. So you will need the Tractor and Company bundle. Registration for the October club runs between now and October 5th. The kit's shipped by October 15th. If you're part of my monthly subscription, my what do you call it? The Sweet Creations Club, it's $43 a month. Otherwise, if you want just the 1 month kit for the Tractor and Company, it is $48 just for the 1 month. That's a non-subscription option. So I don't think I've listed any of the links yet. I was in a hurry because I realized I wasn't connected properly. So none of my links are in there yet, but after this video, I will go add all of those links for you in the video description. All right, so let me share with you the project we're making today. One of Heidi Collins' projects as part of the Homemade Treats series, and I'm not going to tell you a whole lot, but I will tell you she used this color combination, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink and Red, and Secret Sea, and I thought it was adorable. So I wanted to case her colors. I really was inspired by her color combination, and so I designed this project. It is a gift card holder, and it's kind of a fun fold one because when you lift it up, the little gift card just kind of pops up along with it. So I'm going to show you how to make this today because it's a little bit different take on your traditional gift card holder. That's just a fun surprise when your recipient opens it. We are going to do some embossing today as well as some stamping. Some of the items I have already pre-cut because there are several pieces to this. So if you are part of my email list, you are going to get the project sheet for today's project. Going to walk you through with the steps, the supplies I used, pictures to help you along the way. So that way you don't have to worry about jotting everything down. But I do have the quick measurements here in the upper corner if you do want to follow along with what I'm doing today and the supplies that I'm using. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I don't think I told you the email will go out at 3 o'clock Central Time tomorrow, which is Saturday, September 13th, 2025. So if you're part of my email list, you will be looking for that in your inbox tomorrow. If you're not part of my email list and would like to join, you can join with to opt into my email list and you're good to go. All right, and then if you happen to miss, you catch this video later and you want to subscribe, just shoot me an email and say, hey, can I get that project sheet? And as long as you're part of my email list, I will be happy to send it to you. All right, let's go ahead and let's start with our supplies. The first piece we have is a piece of Pool Party cardstock. This piece measures 4¼ by 11 inches, and it is scored in 2 places at 3.5 and again at 9. And that is what is going to be the top and the bottom flaps of the front of my card. So 4¼ 11 inches, scored at 3.5 and 9. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some pieces of the Traditions of Christmas Designer Series paper. Now this pack of paper actually has some really cool patterns to it. Like this one has poinsettias, and you can see those little gold shimmers on the back there. So on the reverse of each of these, you will see you'll have a pattern that has gold flecks. There's green check, there is green stripes, there's the red, I think there's another blue, maybe a blue check. There's lots of different solid, like more solid type colors on the reverse, and then you've got your really shimmery ones, patterns on the back. All right, so we're gonna take and we're gonna glue the top piece. This red piece measures 3¼ by 4. Gonna glue that on the front. The bottom piece measures 1¾ by 4, and it's gonna get glued down to the bottom here. All right, put that here. And then while this glue is setting up, I'm going to work on the mechanism part, and that is the part here inside. And to make this, we're going to take another piece of Pool Party cardstock. Now this piece measures 3.5 by 7 inches. It's scored in, again, 2 places at 2 inches right here. And then again, over here, it's 6.5 inches. So I'm going to fold one up, and then I'm going to fold the other one, my 1/2 inch piece, I'm going to fold it back. So it looks like this when you have your folds done. I'm going to burnish each of the score lines. Now, before I do anything further, what I want to do is I'm going to take a circle punch. I'm using 1 7/8. You can use whatever circle punch you want. I just want to make a little finger hold right here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a semicircle. Just punch that out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back. Actually, nope, I want to do something first. I'm going to take a piece of basic white cardstock. This piece measures 3¼ by 3¼ and I am going to glue it right here just below that top score line where my 1/2 inch section is. And that's where you'll have a place to write a message to your recipient. But we are going to add just a little bit of fun inside as well. So let's glue this right here. All right, now what we're going to do, and this is probably the trickiest part of this project, but it's not that bad, honestly. So what we're going to do is we're going to add either tear and tape, or we're going to add multi-purpose liquid glue to this 1/2 inch section. And then what we're going to do is, you see where the score line is right there? I'm basically going to kind of take it. I'm going to take this straight edge and I'm going to line it up with the score line, just above the score line of my top panel. So I'm just going to line it up, have it centered side to side. And what that allows it to do is when I open the card, look, that mechanism is going to pop up. And so here's what it looks like when you have it inside. That's why you want to make sure that your 1/2 inch is above the top score line for your card on the card front there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this flat. I am not going to glue this down. You can, if you want, you can glue the sides down, but I don't. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to glue down the sides of my blue piece. And so I'm just going to add just a little tiny layer. Again, you can use tear and tape. I'm just using multi-purpose liquid glue. And then while this is closed, I am going to fold this over. And as long as I center things side to side, well, it should not get stuck. It should be fine. Then I'm going to close my card, and there we go. So there is our mechanism for our gift card holder. Now we're going to do all the fun part of decorating it up. to do this, we're going to do some embossing. And so I'm going to start off with a piece of pecan pie cardstock. This measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's just a quarter sheet. Give me plenty to work with. I probably don't need as much because I'm not using all of it, but I want to have more than enough. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to, there's a lot of things here. Whenever I do heat embossing, it takes a lot more supplies to do this. I don't do heat embossing a lot, but when I do, it is such a wow technique to do. So I have my gingerbread man on a large block. This is the F block, and I'm leaving it on here. I shared with you last week the reason why. It's because it's a very thin stamp, very easy to get out of place or to potentially tear. So I'm leaving it on until I am done with it for the season. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take, this is an embossing buddy. Stampin' Up does sell it, but it's part of like an equipment thing. Like if you have not heat embossed before, there is a starter pack where you've got like a tray and you're going to have like an embossing buddy and you'll have like reverse tweezers. And so it's a really great pack to have. But if you already have all that, I would highly recommend just adding an embossing buddy. A lot of times you can find them at craft stores. It's called something else, but it's an embossing tool. So I like to rub it on my cardstock. What that's going to do is it's going to help minimize those little flecks of embossing powder that tend to like stick to the cardstock, because whether we realize it or not, there might be moisture in the air. You may have oils from your hands that get on the card, and that embossing powder loves to stick to it. So this will help dry that out a little bit and help minimize those flecks. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to take mine. I need a good piece of scrap paper here. So let me get that underneath first before I start embossing. So I am going to take my Versamark pad. This is basically a clear sticky pad. And I'm going to ink up. Let me see if you can see. I'm going to ink up my stamp here. I like to go over it several times with a good, not a heavy tap, but a good solid tap. Just go around, make sure I've inked up every bit of my stamp. Then I'm going to take it and press down. Make sure I get all of those edges. Then what I'm going to do is you have two options here. If you notice, my little girl, she also has little cute little winky eyes or little eyes, and she also too has a little bit of hair. So I can either go ahead, add my embossing folder now and just do that one section and come back, or I'm going to quickly try to go ahead and add her hair, which actually is just icing. I'm just taking the icing stamp and using it for her bangs. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to add her face. Now I do want to work fairly quickly because this Versamark will start to kind of dry up a little bit and go into my paper. So I want to make sure I'm not dawdling around when I'm doing this. So I'm going to take, this is the white embossing powder from the Basics Wow embossing powder package. So I'm just going to take, and I do have a little bit right there that I kind of feel like I need a little bit more embossing powder. So I'm just going to add a little extra. See if I can't get a little bit better coverage. Oh, that does. That looks really good. Now, a couple of little tips. If you find a tip for now, if you have put on your embossing powder and you see a few little flecks that still are stuck, what you can do is, in fact, I see one right now. Camera probably won't capture it, but there is a tiny little couple here. I'm just going to take your pick tool or a little pointy tool, and I'm just going to grab as many of those as I can, because when they are on there, they will get heated up, and then they will end up on my project. So there we go. That's a pretty good, clean embossing there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heat tool, and I'm going to heat it up. It may get a little bit loud. We'll see. Sometimes the camera picks up the noise, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm going to take and I'm going to heat emboss this powder onto my cardstock. There we go. Now you can start seeing that the embossing powder is melting. This is a large image, so it's taking a moment to cover everything. All right. Isn't that so cute? All right, now I actually don't see any flecks, but I will tell you another tip. If you do happen to find these tiny little random flecks, what you can do, and you can try, it's not 100% guarantee, is you can take a sand eraser, and sometimes what you can do is you can just kind of sand off those little flecks. A lot of times they're sitting just barely on the surface, and you take, it's basically like a very gentle piece of sandpaper, but it's rubber, and you can a lot of times just erase those off. Not always, but sometimes you can get lucky and erase those off. You want to make sure before we die cut that your embossing powder is completely dry so that we don't rub it off when we're die cutting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take, let's grab the die cut machine, and we're going to use the base plate 1, shim plate 2, a clear plate 3. We're going to sandwich in our cardstock, our little gingerbread, and then I'm going to take the really large die here. And actually I need to run it this way because it's too wide that way. So we're going to take this, and I want to hold it down with just a little bit of washi tape. Okay, and then I'm going to sandwich it in with another clear plate 3. Now you will notice that actually when you're die cutting, these gingerbread are actually, it makes a double gingerbread. So what you can do, and I did share this tip a little bit with you last week, but I'm going to show you a visual on it. So if you want to, and you want to be able to do 2 of these at the same time, because it does die cut 2 at the same time if your cardstock is long enough. What I recommend you can do is take a piece of designer series, the little backer paper. See how I'm just using just a scrap piece of that? What you can do is just run this through, create your template. And then you can take this template, put it on top of your cardstock, take some washi tape, hold it down, and then you can do each of your stamping. That way you can cut 2 of them out at the same time. And when you do, then you get this cute little double. This is what they look like when they're cut out together. And you can make a little card just with this. I was looking at it too, and I think this would be cute for like a classroom, you know, to be able to like label things, put kids' names on them, or it could be just a little Christmas tag. I think it would be so cute. All right, so let's get back to our gingerbread man. So what I'm going to do is, obviously I've got a little piece of cardstock here that I don't need. So I'm just going to take, and I'm going to just cut that off. And I don't want all of him, or her, I should say. So I'm going to cut off the bottom part. And to do that, I have my paper trimmer. And this is what I found worked well, is to take the bottom of her feet and line them up the bottom right edge, right before the, or at the edge of that white piece right there. And then I'm just going to cut across, and that is roughly about 3 1/4 inches. So we're going to cut that piece off, and there you go. Now we're going to do some decorating, and I'm going to show you how I got the pieces. I already have them all set. So to decorate up our little card here, I have my gingerbread girl right here. I'm going to glue her to the front. Then I'm going to add some cute little elements. And those elements, oops, sorry about that. Let me see. Let me find my dies because there's several dies that I use. Now, part of the Gingerbread Man Bundle, you've got all these little pieces that you can decorate your gingerbread person with. So what I did is for the bow, I use this one right here, this die right here. It actually makes a cute little bow with the strands, but I only wanted it for a little hair bow. So I just used the top part in Pool Party cardstock for her bow. So that's going to go right there on her. Then for the candy cane, I used Basic White and Pool Party. Now for the base of my candy cane, it's in Basic White using this candy cane. And then the striped part is this piece right here, the striped piece in Pool Party. So those two will get glued together. Then for the candy or the peppermint, I use the base is in Pretty in Pink. And then I use, where did it go? The swirl right here in Basic White to cut out the swirl. So that will go there. And then the last thing I did is I cut 2 of each color in. Let me see if I can find them all. I have here Real Red, Pretty in Pink, and then Pool Party. And what's really cool is when you stamp your gumdrops, you actually stamp both of them at the exact same time, and then you use your die and you're going to die cut both at the exact same time. So I made 3 sets, 1 in each of the colors, and then we're just going to put all this together. While I am working on this, let me know in the comments if any of you heat emboss. Do you heat emboss often? I don't heat emboss too often, but when I do, I love it. It is so fun. It is super cool. All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to put my gingerbread lady on. I'm just going to put her on just flat. Just have her one level, no dimensional. So I'm just going to put her here right on my red designer series paper. And then I'm going to start adding my little elements here. Now for this one, I think I'm going to use some mini dimensionals for my hair bow. And that right there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, I think I'll use some mini dimensionals for my candy cane. Donna says sometimes you heat emboss. Kelly, sometimes. I don't do it often either. Well, I'll tell you, I do it. I will do it more in like by myself because one, it's on a live. It's a lot of extra things around in this area, and I'm getting very crowded right now that you can't see on camera. So I don't always do it on camera, but it's a fun technique to do, and it's such a wow factor. All right, I'm going to pop this up also with a dimensional, my peppermint. Have that go this way. Basically, if you can't tell, what I'm trying to do is cover my cutting on her hand there so you can't really see it all. Then I'm going to start adding on the gumdrops, and I want one of each color on the front and one of each color on the inside. So, oh, I haven't done that. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, you know what? We're just going to use this on the inside real quick because I didn't realize you know what? Let me just leave that there. I need to do my sentiment. Totally flanked out and forgot to do that. So here I have a piece of basic white cardstock that I did not write the measurement on, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It is 1x4, really, really simple. And then we're going to take Real Red ink. And we're going to take the sentiment from the bundle that says sugar and spice and everything nice. And we're going to stamp, but we're going to stamp on the right side to give room for all our cute little gumdrops on the left. All right, now we can start gluing. You know what? I think I'm going to just take this and let me glue this on first before I make a gooey mess of everything. Okay, now let's add this on. And it's just going to go on this blue layer right here. There we go. And then I'm going to add a pool party gumdrop. And then for my little pretty in pink gumdrop, I am going to put that on with a dimensional. So that one's going to get angled just a little bit right here in the corner. Then I'm going to open it up, and on the inside, I want to add the rest of my gumdrops. And so I'm going to put the small pull party right here. The real red, oh, let's do the pretty in pink one first. This is the large pretty in pink. It really doesn't matter which size goes where. It's just to randomize it. So you got a little bit of color on the inside and the outside. And then my real red one, I'm just gonna layer on top a little bit on the pretty in pink one, just to add a little bit of variety there. There we go. All right. So then, like I said, you can put a gift card in there. And there you go. Close that up. We do have one more thing we're going to do, and that is to bling it up. These are another new product called Traditional Sparkling Sequins, and just really cute colors, really great for the holidays. So I could probably really use any of these. Maybe not green, but I could use the red or the blue or the gold. But I'm going to use the red again because I really like those colors. And so let's add some buttons to our little girl. We're going to put a couple of buttons here. And then I'm going to put one on her bow, just the center of her bow right there. All right. There you go, guys. Do you all like that project? Such a fun project with such a fun bundle. This is going to be one of the featured bundles as part of the Homemade Treats Christmas series. So hopefully you'll add it to your wish list. All right, I'm going to go back and check comments. Okay, Kathy is saying she likes to heat emboss. She hasn't done it for a while, needs to start again. I know, I don't do it very often myself, but it is a lot of fun when I do. All right, guys, let me just make sure I did not miss anything. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Somebody asked a question here. What is the trick of cutting out? Okay, Connie is asking, what is the trick of cutting out the gingerbread man and making the hands rounded? One, there is a little bit of a trick. Let me see. I don't really have one here. You know what? Here we go. We'll use this. So as you see right here, there is the kind of the score line. So what I like to do is I like to not so much turn my hand, but to turn my paper. So what I'll do is I will take and I will kind of just turn the paper. Obviously, this is not going to work as well because I bent that score line there, so it's a little bit soft to work with. Hope that helps a little bit. Let me see if I can do this right here. Because I tend to have a little more control when I do that as opposed to trying to turn my scissors. Because my scissors I tend to be more linear, more angled with, but if I do this, I've got more of a fluid motion. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Again, a lot of it too is just practice over and over again, just manually cutting out a lot of things. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. All right, guys. Okay, let me go ahead and flip back over here. I hope that y'all enjoyed today's project and this will inspire you to do more with the Gingerbread Man Bundle. I have one more project next week that features the other bundle, which is the Homemade Treats bundle. So I will share that with you next Friday at 3 o'clock Central Time. I hope you'll come back and join me. All right, guys, y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.